Josie Smith, and here at Scottish Equestrian Television I'm now joined by two gentlemen, Ronnie, who is the chairperson of HorseScotland, and Billy, who is the chief executive. Ronnie, tell me a bit about your role first of all.
Well, obviously the chairman of the board, and we have various board meetings each year, but the big thing is to make sure that we are the conduit between Sports Scotland, the government body, and the member bodies. And as you know, there are about 18 major member bodies, and you're talking about show jumping and eventing where we are today at Blair Castle. We are the conduit between them and the government, and obviously we look to promote all the young riders to come on up to the competition standard. So we also fund those who are promising riders who can go on to the UK World Performance Programme. So we're looking at improving all the riders up on the way through up the ladder, but we're also mainly looking at trying to get more people at the grassroots. As far as I'm concerned, the major thing we've probably failed in the last few years is to get a lot of people who are not involved with horses, or involved with horses, but not involved with any of the member bodies. And I'm keen that everybody should get involved with the member body.
The member bodies, of course, some of the ones you mentioned, there's so many benefits for riders, even at an amateur level, to get involved and to meet like-minded riders and, you know, become better educated riders at the same time. So yeah, as you say, there's really no excuse.
I mean, the key is education. I mean, we want to spread the word, educate people as much as possible, obviously for the welfare of the horse, but to improve their standard of riding and to get them more involved with various elements of the riding that go on, like eventing or show jumping or dressage.
Fabulous. And Billy, as the chief exec, tell me a bit about your role.
My role, we have a strategy in place to make sure that the stuff that Ronnie's outlined actually gets delivered, okay? Which is my responsibility, to make sure that the strategy and the operational plan delivers for the equestrian community in Scotland. And Ronnie hits the nail on the head. Education and development of our coaches, of our volunteers, of our young aspiring riders and vaulters, jumpers is an important part of what we're about.
And what exactly are you doing up at Blair this weekend?
Well, I'm involved with behind the scenes, so to speak, on the thing. But obviously, we're promoting our stand. Anybody who's got any questions or needs something answered, we're here to do that. And I'm delighted to see and I've met quite a number of heads of the various member bodies and discussed their concerns, discussed what they want to do, so we can incorporate that in some of the things we're doing in the future.
Can you give me an idea, Billy, of the government's plans for the Scottish horse industry?
Government's plans, well, fortunately, Scottish Government through its partner SportsCotland is one of our principal sponsors, and a lot of the resources that come into the organisation are principally about sport. Obviously, HorseScotland's role is slightly broader. It looks at the industry and associated activity. That's an area for us to really do a bit more work on, and I think between ourselves and the board, that's an area that we'll strive to do a bit more on. But in terms of the sporting function, we're very successful. We have some great coaches and great high-performance riders within our squad setup.
Were you going to add something there, Ronnie?
Yes, I mean, we're in fairly early days and we're still developing in HorseScotland, and one of the things we're developing hard at the moment is a new IT system in which to base, because our main other job is to communicate with these member bodies, and this is probably something that we've not done to the best of our ability in the past. So I hold my hand up on that, but we are trying very hard to communicate better with the member bodies so that we get more information around, and at the moment our IT system really is not fit for purpose for that. And the other thing is facilities. There is a great dearth of facilities in Scotland. You know, we need more indoor schools, we need more facilities for people to train at, particularly given the weather we have. And things like the rates are horrendous, so that we've had real problems keeping some of these facilities going. And so we're turning our mind to trying to sort out some of that.
So educationally speaking, Billy, you are trying to work with all these member bodies so that they are constantly improving and evolving, which has a knock-on effect for riders all across Scotland. But can riders join HorseScotland then?
You can have a complimentary membership with HorseScotland, but what we would do, we would act as a signpost. So if you had an area of personal activity you were interested in, we would guide you towards, whether it was show jumping, eventing, dressage or pony club. So we'd very much be the kind of first point of call, and then we would direct people to the appropriate place. And Ronnie mentioned also our communications could be better. We recognise that, and we're now advertising for a membership and communications officer, because we understand that it's important to engage not only with our members but to get our message across to the general public to say, come and get involved.
Because if you're working with the government and with Sports Scotland, I guess, then you are absolutely qualified and giving people exactly the right information, which with so many horse bodies and different organisations, it can all become a bit convoluted, I guess.
It's a very diverse industry, and the problem is that each member body concentrates on what's important to them. I'm afraid that's the nature of life, and they only look sometimes in their own little box. What we've got to try and do is join these boxes up, and also get more people joining the boxes. I mean, I couldn't care less which organisation someone joins, as long as they join something and get involved, and that can only be good for the horse.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the exciting things about Blair and being here over the next 3 days or so is actually looking to 2015, where Blair have secured the bid and won it for the 2015 Senior European Championships. HorseScotland, with its member bodies, will look to try and develop and ensure that the volunteers who are actually taking part in that event have the appropriate skills and are there for Scottish member bodies after the event. So we're looking at developing our volunteers with a view to 2015 being an extremely successful event.
That's really interesting because, of course, with the success of all the volunteers at the Olympics and then, of course, with the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, it's a great opportunity for horsey people who've maybe not got any interest in athletics or other sports to get involved and to have what promises to be, I guess, an amazing experience.
The only problem slightly, of course, is that being slightly technical, we can't just take people off the streets like they've done for the Commonwealth Games or thing, because they've got to know about what the rules are for, say, show jumping or jumping judges, or, for instance, the tax steward has to know all about the bits and all the rest of it. So you can't just take people off the street, but we can train them, as Billy says, and that's what we'll be doing over the next few years. And in fact, this year, the layout for this has been completely changed, and I must admit I think it's a great improvement, and it's really been laid out with 2015 in mind, so it will be definitely moving forward.
Billy, tell the Scottish Equestrian TV viewers your website address, how we get in touch with you via social media.
It's www.horsescotland.org, and social media is HorseScotland at Facebook. That's us, so you can find out all about us by visiting our website, and we'd be glad to hear from you.
Yep.
Have we got any final words from you, Ronnie, as the chairman?
As I say, I just want everybody who listens to this to make sure they join any organisation and get involved.
Okay, that's an order, viewers. Thank you so much, guys. Lovely to talk to you.